So if the buyer is selling a property and, selling their own property, and on their purchase contract, they've said, look, we expect to have a contract on this within 60 days, and then we expect to settle that within 30 days after that. So our subject to sale condition is 90 days long. The seller might say, all right, well, I'll give you 90 days. But if I have anyone come along any time within that 90 days and offer me something better, I'm going to give you 72 hours to take that clause off, make the contract unconditional and proceed to settlement, or terminate the contract. So that's what a sunset clause is. It essentially changes one of the accepted conditions in a way that is agreed by the parties. So, that can be enacted if a better buyer comes along. It might see the original condition might see its way through to completion. So that sunset clause gives the other party an opportunity to do something against an agreed condition. In an off-plan contract, one of the sunset clauses, and off-plan contracts are so complex. So they are not standard form.
We interviewed a conveyancer, and I'm fairly certain we talked about off-the-plan contracts. And yes. I always remember one thing she really said, which was that, developers typically have, quite a lot of budget for their legals, and they can afford the top of town lawyers. And whereas most of us, when we're buying a property, we might be using a conveyancer, or we might be using a property specialist, but we're not typically going to the top end of town to do our conveyancing. So the contract is sort of unfair in the sense that it is a bit biased towards the developer, given that they've had a lot more money to throw at putting it together than we've got at countering it. And generally speaking, they don't budge on anything.
Very hard to get developer contracts changed. That's not to say that you have to agree to it. You can walk away from the property if you don't think the conditions are reasonable.
But this is what makes me think, if these people said, oh, we'd like to shorten the sunset clause, please, that they didn't understand what they were doing, and the developer went, yeah, hell yeah, it's a rising market, bring it on.